In the forest of Cameroon, every arrow tells a story, some of survival, others of greed. But one arrow, left unshot, would change the destiny of a hunter forever. The sun had barely risen above the horizon when Akong, a seasoned hunter, strapped his quiver across his back and tightened the grip on his bow. The forest of Mam was his second home, its rustling leaves and echoing bird calls as familiar to him as his own heartbeat. For years, Akong had provided for his family with skill and courage. The elders called him the Eye of the Forest, for his arrows rarely missed their mark. Yet that morning, as he stepped into the misty woods, his mind was heavy. Game had grown scarce. Traps returned empty, and villagers whispered that the spirits of the forest were angry. Akong pressed on, his bare feet silent against the damp earth. Hours passed, and just as frustration threatened to turn him back, he saw it, an antelope, sleek and golden, drinking from a small pool. Its horns curved like crescent moons, its height shimmering in the shaft of sunlight that pierced the canopy. He raised his bow, fingers steady on the string. But as the antelope lifted its head, their eyes met, and Akong froze. There was something in that gaze, something more than animal instinct. The creature's eyes brimmed with sorrow, almost human, almost pleading. Then, in a voice soft as the wind through bamboo, the antelope spoke. "Hunter, spare me." Akong stumbled back, nearly dropping his bow. His ears buzzed, had he imagined it. But the antelope stepped closer, its hoofs making no sound on the forest floor. "Spare me, and you will not regret it." Fear gripped Akong, but curiosity held stronger. The forest was known to harbor spirits, tricksters, guides, and guardians. Some rewarded kindness, others punished cruelty. He lowered his bow. "I should kill you," he muttered, "for my family is hungry. Yet your words stay my hand." The antelope bowed its head. "Mercy opens doors that strength cannot. You have chosen well." And with that, it vanished into the forest, leaving no trace but the trembling leaves. Akong stood rooted to the spot. Had he lost his chance at feeding his family? Or had he gained something far greater? That night, as he returned to the village empty-handed, neighbors whispered behind his back. His wife, Ngozi, tried to hide her disappointment, but her eyes betrayed her worry. "Children cannot eat stories of spirits," she said softly. But Akong only shook his head. "Something tells me, Ngozi, that our lives are about to change." And though hunger gnawed at his household, Akong lay awake under the moon, replaying the antelope's words in his mind. Mercy opens doors that strength cannot. The door had been opened. But to where, and to what fate? What happens when mercy is rewarded? For not every gift from the spirit world is meant to be held lightly. At dawn, Akong returned to the forest, drawn by a pull he could not explain. The memory of the talking antelope haunted him, its eyes, its voice, its promise. Hours into his walk, he reached the pool again. This time, the antelope stood waiting. Its horns shimmered as if woven from sunlight itself. "You kept your word," it said. "And so shall I keep mine." From its mouth, it dropped a small object into the grass, a horn-shaped flute, carved from bone and polished with care. "Play this when your need is great," the antelope whispered. "The forest will answer." Before Akong could speak, it leapt away, vanishing once again into the shadows. He picked up the flute, its surface warm against his hand. At first, he doubted. But hunger drove him to try. Raising it to his lips, he blew a note, and the forest stirred. Birds scattered. The earth shook. And then, from between the trees, animals appeared, antelopes, guinea fowls, rabbits, walking straight into his path as if summoned. Akong's basket overflowed within minutes. Never had a hunter seen such bounty. Back in the village, jaws dropped. Women clapped, children sang, men marveled. Akong's name spread beyond Mam. Some said the spirits had blessed him. Others muttered that he had made a dark pact. For weeks, his household thrived. Ngozi's laughter returned, his children's cheeks grew round, and his compound filled with grain, meat, and gifts from grateful neighbors. Yet envy brewed in the hearts of men. One evening, as Akong sat by the fire, an elder approached. The forest does not give without reason, the old man warned. Be careful that your gift does not become a curse. But Akong only smiled, holding the flute close. For in his heart, he believed mercy had brought him fortune beyond measure. Little did he know, fortune has a way of turning men against each other. A hunter's gift fed his people, but envy feeds on the heart. And envy, once awakened, is hungrier than famine itself. Envy slithered into Mam like smoke through cracks. At first, it was whispers, how does Akong summon such plenty? Then it was questions, why should one man prosper while others scrape the earth? Soon, it became hatred. One night, while Akong slept, 3 men crept into his compound. They found the flute hidden beneath a mat. The oldest among them grinned. So this is his secret. They fled into the forest, eager to test its power. They blew, but no sound came. Again, and again, nothing. Frustration burned. One spat on the ground. Perhaps he tricked us all along. But as dawn broke, the antelope appeared. Its eyes, once sorrowful, now blazed with fury. Thieves, it thundered. You take what was not given to you. The ground split beneath their feet. Vines rose, wrapping around their necks. The men screamed, swallowed by the earth as the forest reclaimed them. The antelope carried the flute back to Akong. A gift is not just for you, but for how you use it. Remember, mercy begets mercy, but greed brings only ruin. Akong wept, for he saw how envy had turned brother against brother. He vowed to use the flute only for the good of all. From then on, he played not for himself, but for the village, summoning food in times of famine, shelter in times of storm. And so, his name became legend. Children were told, spare life when you can, for the forest never forgets. But in the quiet of night, Akong sometimes wondered, was it truly mercy that saved him, or had he merely stepped into the endless bargain between man and the unseen world? In the heart of the Mam forest, a hunter's mercy became his greatest weapon. When Akong spared the life of a talking antelope, he chose compassion over hunger, and in return, the forest itself opened its hand to bless him. But soon, envy crept among his people, proving that not every blessing is free from danger. The story reminds us that mercy has power beyond strength or skill. What we spare today may one day spare us. Yet it also warns that when kindness turns to pride, or when others covet what isn't theirs, the gift becomes a curse. So, remember Akong's lesson, show mercy when you have the power to harm, and guard your blessings with humility. For the forest gives, but it also remembers. Like and subscribe for more amazing African folktale and true crime.